Yeah.
When last time he ate?
6 something. It's like 6, closer to like 6:30. All right, so hopefully you guys will make your way back. I'm gonna try to send this out again via Facebook. Try to get it going again, y'all. I don't know, man. This YouTube thing, it's got me striking now, man. It's crazy. All right, so hopefully you guys have somebody's made their way back. If you were subscribing to my YouTube channel, hopefully somebody made their way back. I'm not sure what's going on. I may have to postpone going live on YouTube till we can work out these kinks, because I have no issues going live on Facebook. I have no issues going live on Instagram, but for whatever reason, Facebook is just jacking a brother up. So I'm gonna try to give just a few more minutes to let people get back over. I am reposting right now as we speak. So hopefully we can get the folks back on, man. We can get the folks back on, man. Got to get the folks back on. Got to get the folks back on. So just a few minutes. If you're live with me now, please bear with me. If you're live right now, please bear with me. I'm trying to get it back, y'all. So if you're live right now, if you're on YouTube right now, you can hear me. Would you mind putting just a 1 in the chat for me, or letting me know that you can hear me? If you're on YouTube right now and you can see me, please put a 1 in the chat, please. Put a 1 in the chat, please, if you can hear me. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Trying to hold tight for just a few minutes, y'all, before I go in, give everybody a chance to get back on, man. I had the live schedule. Not exactly sure what happened, but this is the second time I've had an issue with YouTube. So I may be postponing until I can get these things pulled off without a hitch. Just waiting before I go live, man. All right, y'all, we're gonna try to get rolling here. Had some technical difficulties, so was not able to get it going on YouTube live off that first one. So I had to go back and regroup. So hopefully we can get some folks back on. I'm gonna give a couple of moments, man, to get everybody who had a chance. I mean, we had it going down, and I don't know what happened with YouTube. So I'm gonna give folks an opportunity to get back on, and we'll try this thing again. I will not be keeping y'all on long, so hopefully you guys will be able to jump back on, and we can keep it moving. We'll be able to keep it moving, man. Please tell somebody about it. At the end of the day, I want this to be beneficial. So just let somebody know about it, and we'll get it going. Even if it's just for one person, all right, we'll get it going. All right, man. So we're again just giving people an opportunity to get in. My apologies for the technical difficulty from earlier. Not sure what happened, but here we are. So I'm going to do my best to get you going. Appreciate you if you're holding on strong, man. Just a couple minutes, man, just to give folks an opportunity to get right. And if you're in the young professionals group right now, if you have anybody else that's in the group, please let them know. I'm sending that back to the group again as we speak. All right, so all right. So I'm going to go ahead and start. People file in, man. I've got one person who's on here, so hopefully I can redeem that. My apologies for the technical difficulty. Be honest with you, man, I'm new. YouTube has changed their platform with respect to, hold on here, just somebody sent me a little message. So YouTube has changed their live altogether now. I mean, it's not like it used to be. So if you're new to, if you've used YouTube before, then you can understand what I mean. If you've recently logged in and tried YouTube, So it's not as easy anymore as it used to be. I am in a rural area right now, so I don't know if it's on my end or not, but I'm happy to listen to the replay. All right, cool. Yeah, it could be we're up now, so it could just be that you're in an area. But anyway, nonetheless, so again, I apologize. So I don't intend on keeping you all long. Again, I want to put out a few things with respect to the time where we are right now. So I've got 2 books I'm going to reference. I've been referencing them all day. I've been on it. I've been on the ground all day, y'all. Matter of fact, my wife told me earlier, she's like, we need to, let's hold on. Let's have a family meeting. I need to know when you're going on. So she's absolutely 100% correct, man. But I've just been in that grind mode because I want to give you guys some information with respect to where you are right now, your product, your service. But more importantly, I'm coming across a lot of individuals who are not already set up with streams of income based on their knowledge, based on what they have from a real life experience. Okay. Now, as I'm typing, if somebody will type in the chat and let me know what it is you currently have a passion or a skill set with, and I'm going to try to make some real examples while I'm on this live so that we can kind of talk through what I have set up. So I'll begin by telling you all this. If you're not familiar with who I am, I do go by Burch the Messenger on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. My full name is Burch. I've been online from a earning income perspective since 2001. I first gave a shot at affiliate marketing. Nobody really knew what affiliate marketing was at that time. It was a very unique strategy where a person could sell another person's product. And most of the time it was an informational product. So I started my hand at that, got involved with with eBay. Sometime later, was able to get that eBay business to a large 5-figure, most of the time 5-figure, a couple of times touched 6-figure months, but not anything shy of working long days. If you understand that business model, eBay was great for a physical product, but you had to pack and ship. It was a lot of work. So when you hear a lot of people talk about making 5 figures a month, 6 figures a month, of course, that's from a gross perspective in most cases. However, netting is possible. There's a lot of work involved with that, y'all. So me going from affiliate to seeing that model to then making websites, HTML, those types of coding, if you remember how that worked, and then really getting involved in the dropship model. So the dropship model was really cool when you now all of a sudden see that there's a manufacturer who makes a product and you can position yourself in between the manufacturer and the customer, no inventory needed. So there's a lot of different ways that I've been making money online. But as a business consultant, one of the things that I've realized is a lot of business owners, and when I say business owners, I don't want you all to think directly to a brick and mortar facility, but when I say business owner, that's a person who has a product or a service. And that product or service comes in many different shapes, forms, and fashions. So a pastor is a person who has a product or service, a person who's down the street at the donut shop, product or service, a person who sells cars, whether they own the car lot or not, product or service. So this is where we are right now. And many individuals are sitting at home. Okay, so it's an eye opener to a lot of individuals because most people have put their eggs in one basket, W-2. And so now you're not working. And now many people are saying, man, you know what? Now's the time I need to either start a business or at least start looking at it. So it's always when you're positioned in a rock and a hard place that people start to look outside of the regular. In fact, that's when most people begin to actually critically think. They'll start to think is when they're now positioned in between a rock and a hard place because you're trying to get out of it, right? So it's a normal response, right? Fight or flight. Okay, if you think about that. So where you are right now is you made your way to this live. I had a lot more people earlier. I wish, but it's for who it's for. This much I know is true. But you're in a position here because there's something in the conversation that I gave you along the way that I was able to position you or help you position yourself as the expert in your business to create income online. And absolutely, that is what I'm able to do. So what I'm going to introduce you to, if this is the first time, these 2 books, if you're not familiar with these 2 books, okay, Dotcom Secrets and Expert Secrets, I'm going to put the link inside of the chat for both of those books so you can go and purchase the books. I am an affiliate with these two books. So what that means is I've been using this author's SaaS or software as a service for roughly 5 years now, maybe 4 or 5 years. So the author of this book his name is Russell Brunson. He's the founder of Clickfunnels. If you're familiar with Clickfunnels, Clickfunnels is a revolutionary way to sell a product, a service online using what are called funnels. Okay, so a funnel is a series of web pages put together for a particular purpose. So a website nowadays is no longer effective. It has not been effective for a number of years. So if people are spending money on websites, they're most of the time not effective. Okay, so for example, an author. I've seen a lot of authors who have, and I just know this because I was recently working with a publisher, small publisher here in North Carolina, in Charlotte, and they're just creating websites with no purpose, right? So websites, once upon a time, worked like this. You gave a person a business card. You said, here you go. Here's my business card. That person looked at the business card. They saw a website. They went on. That was your way of claiming space online. Okay, so that worked to be able to say I have a website. That was almost the normal thing, right? At that point, if you didn't have a website, nobody was doing business with you. It's expected that you'd have a website now. But what has happened is people have websites that are not effective. So this doesn't matter the industry, it's all the time. If I were to pull up anybody's website right now, I would be able to tell you without a shadow of a doubt that it's 80 to 90% ineffective for what it should be used for. So we use funnels in the marketing world. So I'm introducing you to these two books. I'll give you the links to these two books because what I am doing as a way of paying it forward is I am taking my expertise in business consulting, business coaching, and I'm going to use these two books as curriculum inside of a closed group that you can go to. In fact, what I'm going to go ahead and do now is inside of this YouTube chat, okay, the website that is there now, okay, Jante Burch, if you see it in your messaging section on the YouTube platform here, that website is my personal landing page. Why I'm giving that to you, because the links to these two books or access to these two books are there. I'm also going to throw them in as we're talking. So as I continue that conversation, what you have to understand right now is that everybody has had to stop and pivot. Okay, so if you're working a daytime profession and you're sitting at home, your company is trying to figure out now, how do we move forward? Which means you're at home on furlough, or early on, companies were just giving the 86 right away. So without a shadow of a doubt, if you're working right now and you're working reduced hours, be grateful for that. Okay, there's no need to complain. Be grateful for that. The other part is you have to recognize you are where you are by design. There's something that we're all supposed to learn in these lessons of life. However, many of us do not, or we wander through the desert, much like Israelites, not grateful for where we are, grateful for what we've come out of, not realizing that in the present moment, this is the most important time of our lives to be grateful for where you are, what it could be, right? This is what I know, the law well, let me just break it down to you this way. When you get to comparing another person and what they're going through, somebody's always got it worse than you, right? So that's the one thing you got to recognize right now where you are. So if you're watching this video, I'm hopefully going to put you on game. The other part of it is everybody is pivoting because this is a matter of survival. Okay, so if you're currently an expert at something and you're not already producing streams of income or having these funnels set up for different things, then now is the time. And what I know is the universe has brought me to you. So what we're going to be doing in the group, both of these books are topics of discussion. Now, the reason why I'm doing this, because there's a couple of things I know. If I don't do it, many people will not survive. They will not get through this period of time. I don't care if it's 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. If you don't quickly begin to position yourself online, it will be very difficult for a person to really gain ground. So a lot of companies right now are even evaluating these positions that we've had before. Do we even bring these individuals back? Because if this were to happen again, right? What would be any different? So this is where you got to understand where you are right now with respect to a product or service. But if you're an expert, so specifically this book that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to go ahead and pull these links up now. But these particular books that we're speaking about, Expert Secrets, is that exact book that I have been using for local businesses as well as businesses, people who exist in other states, to understand that your expertise gives you the ability to create multiple streams of income. You just have to set them up that way. Okay, so for example, if you're someone who has the ability to, so nobody's put anything in the chat, so I don't have anything to work with. So let's say you're somebody who has the ability to counsel. Let's say you can counsel husband and wife. You can get ready to counsel people who are getting ready to get married, people who are dealing with issues, personal issues, addiction, those types of things. These are all different funnels based on that wide array of services that you could provide. So if you are the counselor and you're able to talk to 4 or 5 different groups, that's 4 or 5 different types of income streams according to what you're able to provide. Okay, so here's another great example, chiropractor. In fact, I'm going to go to this book here, Dotcom Secrets, and I'm going to go to a concept called the value ladder. Okay, so a value ladder essentially is, if I bring a person in, let me try to see if I can get this as close as possible. All right. So you guys see that it's called the value ladder. Okay, so I use this concept quite a bit, but let's talk about a chiropractor or a dentist, one of the more popular clients for myself. A chiropractor or a dentist would bring somebody in on a basic service. So for example, a chiropractor might run a deal and say, I'll give you an x-ray, an adjustment, and a report of the findings, all for $39.99. Now, a person who says, man, my back, my neck, I'll take advantage of that, kind of like the Groupon offer. They're bringing that individual in, or individuals in. They're giving them that basic $40 to then sell them up based on the value ladder. Okay, so if a person is coming to you based on a ground floor, ground level opportunity, you as the expert should now be able to sell them more things. So this is where you as the expert need to be able to position all of your current expertise, your knowledge, and begin to develop those so that you can provide that value ladder. So let me go back to this diagram again. This is why the book is going to be so important for you guys, because you want to be able to follow along as I do this. So let me give you the example of a dentist. Okay, cool. All right. Notice this is for a dentist. I'm going to try to get it in as best where it's possibly before it goes out of focus. All right. So if you notice that bottom line there, that's a basic service coming in. So the basic level right here. Let me bring it back. This is the teeth cleaning. That's the basic service. The level up is the teeth whitening. All right. The level up. Okay, yeah, the level up from there is a retainer, and then cosmetic. So you see how that works? Bring them in low, sell up, sell up, sell up. Okay, so this is where a lot of you, if you do have a product or a service, even from a product perspective, you could be selling t-shirts right now, but if you don't have a proper funnel, which most e-commerce business owners don't, they're selling one thing. That's it. You put a post on Instagram, somebody actually goes to your shop. Your shop is not optimized for conversions. In other words, it's not set up for a person to click here, get out and buy. There's a maze of stuff that we're expecting the customer to finagle their way through to find your product, add it to the shopping cart, and then buy. So the funnels are not set up. Well, there is no funnel, and if it is set up, it's not set up effectively. So these are the things that I want to be able to share with you. And so why I'm doing these lives so consistently is because I'm just trying to get the buzz out there. Clearly with the YouTube piece, I had to start a fresh one so I could be able to get this out there. But I want you guys to be able to take advantage of these two things. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and throw in the link, or I'm sorry, in the messaging, one link that you you guys can go to and pick up the Dotcom Secrets. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in there now as we're talking. All right, and then the other I'll put in is the Expert Secrets. Okay, now one will require to watch a video. The other one, I think you can just get straight to it. So I'm going to put that one in there now. All right, now at this particular time, I do recognize that there are a few individuals on. You know, I want this to be as interactive as possible in any of the lives that I do. Earlier, I had a great Zoom call, had a lot of interaction there. We kind of talked about some similar things. Again, as I told them, any group that I've gone live in on today, I will be reducing. So I'm kind of doing this over a period of time. I don't know when I will ultimately stop doing these types of live, but I'm trying to give everybody a chance to be able to grab these books and get inside those groups, because I'm going to be going all in. So today in the Zoom, I was able to share my screen, and I actually pulled out, you know, the softwares as if I was building something out for a client, so that those individuals could really see the potential. And so that's what I want to do for you all. So I'm doing these as frequently as I possibly can, trying to spread them around different groups so that you guys can take advantage of it and really get where you got to go. Let me also bring up the other, as I'm doing this, if I could get a question or two, in the message regarding, you know, whatever it is that you're going through right now. I mean, what's your biggest challenge? Obviously, you came here because there's some information that I could possibly give you, or something that you're looking for with regard to a product or a service, or being the expert in your field. So while I'm pulling this other link up for the Expert Secrets, if I could just get somebody to participate and ask a question, that would absolutely be wonderful. All right, so I'm going to do that. So I'll be silent for just a little bit. Somebody wants to participate. I'm going to grab this link and put it in while I'm waiting. So I'm looking for somebody to give me a question or two while I find this link for Expert Secrets with regard to any product or service that you may have or need to promote during this time. Now, aside from these two things that we're talking about as well, I'm also going to be inside of the group because of the software, basically the Clickfunnels specifically. If you choose to use that at some particular point through these tutorials that I'm going to be laying out, you will absolutely be able to use it for the affiliate marketing. You'll be able to use it for dropship marketing. If you are a current e-commerce, let's say you have a business right now where you're selling physical products online, you can use it for that, for the upsell. So there's a lot of ways to strategize your particular position online. And my goal is to help you get there between what I got going on over here and my actual life. So it's taking me a little bit longer. So if you have a business online and you're not using upsell, what we call one-click upsells or one-click downsells, you're missing a huge opportunity to get customers into your particular funnel and increase your earning potential. So I'll give you an example. If you run a Facebook ad and it costs you $5 to acquire a customer, and let's say they purchase something, they come through the front end of that funnel spending $40. So now you made $35 because it cost you $5 to acquire the customer. The product was $40, so it's $35. There might be a 1 or 2% processing fee. So if you just back that out as well, so let's just say you're somewhere around $33. It cost you $5 to get them. The product was $4. That with the fees of processing, let's say you're $34, $34 profit. Now with an upsell opportunity, you would absolutely be able to go now by adding other things in after they've already purchased one thing from you. So what a lot of individuals are missing out on is the opportunity to bring a customer in for a very low cost of acquisition and then turn around and increase that profit by offering them something else. So that's what's going on here. I just put the third link. Here we go. Dominique, what up, brother? Starting stages of business selling clothing and footwear. Any different kind of websites, or is it just in the design? So, okay, so great question. So, brother, this is for you. So what I will tell you right now, before you get out here and try to create any type of website, hold your horses, because you have right now got to build a following of individuals. So this is what happens a lot. Anybody who's trying to produce a website right now, or you're trying to put something out there, just pause, because a website means absolutely nothing. And you could give Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube all of the money you possibly could pump right now. It doesn't necessarily mean anything other than a person will travel to your particular site if you don't have some things already working. See, this is what took me, when I show you, probably maybe not these top parts, but if I show you the core of these books right here that I'm working with, this is just a few, right? But let's look at just a few of these books right here. I've had to go through, as well as spend several thousand, tens of thousands of dollars to be able to understand these things that I'm going to show you right now. So my best advice is don't put no website together, because what you got to do is build a following. So what we're going to be talking about in this is, how do you build your own economy? So particularly this book, when it first came out, it was a groundbreaking book, because people were like, oh my God, I can't believe this dude wrote this book telling all of the secrets. Because you have to understand, there's a fraternity of online marketers that don't really want you to know this information, because then it cuts into, it really doesn't cut into anything that they're doing, but it cuts into the ability to create money online if everybody is doing the same thing. Now, that was the first book. But when he came out with the second book, this is where it changed the game, because then this is where it shows you that there is no need to compete, but rather create. And I live that philosophy anyway. I believe that if you understand who you are as a human being, you can go out here and use your God-given ability to just think your way to success. There's no need to compete. And right now is a great opportunity. So, brother, what I will highly recommend that you do is go to the two links that I just put into this messaging platform, and you need to grab both of these books. Okay, now once you've done that, you can either Facebook message me, you can Instagram DM me, or you can come back to YouTube and you can just leave a comment, but just send me the email address that you use to purchase those two books. So when you now go into join the group, let me give y'all that too. Let me just give y'all everything right now. So you can go in and join the group. So whoever is moderating at the time will let you in the group. All right, so let me just put the groups up in there as well, so that you guys can have that. All right, so let me go ahead and continue answering this question. Let me just continue with this frame of thought with regard to the website. So if you're selling clothing and footwear, here's one thing you got to think about. That is a saturated market. In other words, it's a Red Sea. So there's Blue Sea, Red Sea. Clothing, footwear, that's a Red Sea. In other words, it's bloody. There's a gang of sharks in that water, and that water is bloody. Okay. What you got to do is operate in a blue water, right? In other words, there may be some sharks swimming, but there's not a million sharks like the one that most t-shirt and footwear business owners are swimming in. So what we got to do is, in these philosophies that I'm going to show you, listen, my wife will tell you, this is all I've been talking about, to the point where I have no blueprint for how this is really going to roll out. I'm just kind of doing this thing based on me just creating action, creating a buzz. I know once I get y'all in this group, then I can work with you one-on-one, and I can share my screen. So I'm kind of doing the legwork to get you in. But what you got to be able to do, brother, is we got to get your t-shirt and clothing business operating in blue water, meaning these individuals are following you based on your product, your information, your service. And a lot of it is going to come not necessarily to how catchy the slogan is or the graphic. People aren't really buying the shirt more than they're buying the movement, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'll give you an example of how I'm using the same technique, these same strategies. I've read this book So you got to understand, I'm already a student of it. My movement is to inspire you guys to think differently, to do differently, and act differently during this moment. That's a movement. That's you all subscribing, because right now you really don't know what to do. So right now, the messenger is giving you a conversation that sounds somewhat reasonable, sounds somewhat appealing to some of you, and so you're like, I'm gonna go check it out because I don't know what else I got going on right now. I've consumed some of the brother's content and other things, so the brother may know what he's talking about. Clearly, you would probably see a lot more if you've looked at some of the other lives and things that I've already done, and if you're already in some of the groups, and you clearly know I know what I'm talking about. So what we got to do is get you using the same strategies, the same techniques that are in these books that I do teach other business owners, but so that you can understand how you're going to build your own economy. So now the water is always blue. So what I'm saying to you is you can sell t-shirts and shoes all day. Your t-shirts, your shoes, if it's your brand, your logo, your thing, it's also got to be attached to your movement. All right. So if it can't just be any type of shirt with nothing attached to it, then it's a trendy thing. Then you're going to have to use paid advertising. You're going to have to be able to give Facebook and YouTube and Instagram money to advertise, and you're going to have to test, and you're going to have to figure out, okay, it seems to be converting on this. Let's double down on that. And then that may not always work. Then it's going to switch. So this is where a person who says, I don't mind pumping money out, that's how they're going to operate. That's not my advice to you. My advice to you, and what I'm going to show you through these materials and through these groups, is how to create your own economy based on you being the expert, your superpower, your ability. Even if it's a t-shirt thing, that t-shirt, you're inspired, that clothing, you're inspired because of something in your life. So that's an inspiration based on something in your life that you went through, that you're like, man, this is my voice. Okay, so everybody's got it, fam. Everybody's got it. You're in the right place. All right, hold on. What else we got here? KB. All right, for business owners, i.e. clothing brand owners, what ways do you feel we can get bigger markets and more money? Okay. So what I'm saying right now, KB, I don't know what you caught on brother Dom's question, but again, in the clothing market, the clothing brand, let's take FUBU for example. All right, I love that story. Damon John, I follow him a lot. I'm a huge Shark Tank fan, but even before that, if you think about his concept, for us, by us. Now, FUBU hit the scene because FUBU was doing things that other clothing brands weren't doing or couldn't do with respect to people of color. So for us, by us, that was a movement. People attached themselves to that FUBU brand. Now, white folks was wearing FUBU at the end of the day because it got to be popular, right? Then FUBU came out with I remember I used to rock the Fat Albert, bro. Like you would catch me, man, I probably racks worth of Fat Albert on that FUBU thing. That was I attached to that. See, so what you got to realize in anything clothing, if you want people to follow you, it's got to be a movement. So that FUBU was a movement. For us, by us, it was an identifiable brand by people of color who were supporting another brother of color. And that's what it was. That was the movement. Then he got the hip hop people involved. It was a movement. Now, if it had just been FUBU with nothing else attached to it, no real movement, people might have said, oh, well, I like that Fat Albert, I'll buy it. But they were buying the movement, not anything other than that. The designs actually help, of course, but people were like, man, I like that Fat Albert. Like that was a movement. If you grew up around that time, you rocked the Fat Albert. Now, today's generation wouldn't rock it because they don't understand that Fat Albert, but it was the movement behind it. So with that being said, anything clothing, and listen, these concepts are for any industry. That's what I'm telling y'all. Go get these books. Don't play with it. Get these books because these concepts work whether you sell donuts, whether you sell informational products, whether you're a masseuse, whether you're a pastor, whether you're somebody who's written a book and is trying to sell a course behind that book. If you're somebody who you're trying to do personal coaching from a fitness perspective, if you're trying to do personal life coaching, it doesn't matter. I've helped them all. Come one, come all. These strategies work. So KB, great question, man. So again, clothing brand owners, every business has to create their own economy. In other words, people are following you because it's your brand. So it's the same thing. We got to put you in the blue ocean. All right. Now, let me also just paint another picture on some things that I'm throwing out. I'm throwing out a few concepts, but I want you to understand how far this goes. So the shirt alone, the clothing alone, the footwear alone, that's a physical product. But what happens is now, as that business owner, you're going to turn around because you have now an expertise in how to do something. You'll be able to turn around and you can begin to now share information where another person who wants to get into the clothing business, you now have the ability. So Damon John has those courses. And I know this because Damon John, he got several streams of income. I've run into him and a lot of other mentors that I have within the digital marketing game. So I run into Damon John quite a bit. So I know what he's got going on, and he's setting up these things that I'm talking to you about because that's what millionaires do, right? So it's not about getting the money and holding on to the money, but it's getting the money and then using the money to turn around and continue to create streams of income. So if your bag, the main bag is bringing in off of the clothing, then turn around now and use that to invest in how do I start perhaps my own academy to teach other people who want to go into business? How do I maybe partner up with other people who are trying to do it? I've already done the work. Now, how do I partner up with them? That's another stream of income. So this is about thinking outside of the box. That's what I do best. You know, I told my wife, I'm like the Dr. Dre of business building. You know, if you know Dre been putting out hits since way back the days of NWA and Eazy-E. So Dre been putting out hits, but very rarely do you see Dre on the front. You don't even see him that much, even when he got the little that wasn't little, but the beats, the contract with the Beats by Dre, billionaire. But you still see Dre behind the scenes because Dre is best at producing, making the hit. That's who I am. I live in that. I walk in that. You know, I have my own opportunities that I create for myself, but I'm like the Dre it is because I see what other business owners can't see. And so that's where we got to go with this, fam. We're about the business of setting y'all up. All right, what else y'all got? What other questions do you have? Oh, let me get to putting these groups up. So what you want to do once these groups are, once you've gotten the book, you go to those links. I want you guys to request to access the Dotcom and Expert Secrets Facebook group. All right, so I'm gonna pull that link up now and make sure that you have it. Booyah! Here we go. All right. All right, so let me go ahead and drop that in there as well. All right, what other questions do y'all have? So I've answered 2 questions. Both of them are clothing related. I can't imagine everybody on here is for clothes. Are there no questions about your product or your service right now that we can talk about, you know, as I start to wrap this up? Because ultimately we got started late, but it's all good. It's all good. What other questions do you have? So right now I put in the links for both books, the Dotcom Secret, the Expert Secret, and then to access those closed groups. Now, this is the deal. I'm gonna still let you in the group whether you purchase the books or not. The books, without the books, it won't make much sense to you because even with me going through, and I'm going to show you a lot, but even with me going through, you won't have the curriculum. So that's why I'm telling y'all to get the book. Full transparency. Again, I am an affiliate of everything Clickfunnels as well. So using my link, absolutely, will I get something for it? 50 cents, more or less per book. So I'm not about to be wealthy off of you all getting the book. So you have to understand there's a bigger thing at play here. I'm requiring you to get some buy-in. What I realize, anything for free, most people don't take advantage of it. They don't even see value in it. So my thing is, if you want to know how to learn these, how to position yourself, you want to learn these skills that otherwise I would charge you thousands of dollars for, and that's real, then you got to do some legwork. So you got to go. So the book right now is not even $19.99. Let me also tell you this. Both of these books, when I bought them, were $19.99. you can now get both of these books free plus shipping. So it's like $8. So less than 20 bucks, you can get 2 books that will absolutely put zeros and commas in your bank account once the messenger gives you these skill sets and really show you how to lay it out. But I'm requiring you to do the work. So if you want to be in and you want to learn it, you'll have to do the work. You can still come inside the group. But once you get inside the group, and if you have not used the links to get the book, that's kind of where it stops. There's going to be other things that I will be introducing. But again, I'm only going to be doing this for individuals who are willing to do the work. So this is where I'm holding you accountable for your own actions. Because if I just give it to you for free, it's too easy, dog. It's too easy. What we got here? Oh, okay. Yeah, facts, KB. He had told me about that. Dom, if you recall, we talked about that. It's been a couple of years now. You're right, man. Now is the time, man. Listen, it's for everybody's good. I don't care what anybody says right now. Listen, we can agree to disagree. I think as long as you don't buy into whatever the world is talking about right now, the scripture says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. If you understand what that means that you don't have to subscribe to anything that's going on out here. You don't have to subscribe to what your employer is telling you. That it's just results right now. It just is. My advice, take advantage of all of the government's assistance. There's nothing wrong with that. You've paid taxes for that. Don't get comfortable though. In other words, don't just use that as a pacifier for the next 30 to 45 days to get back to work and then forget about all of this. Use it as an opportunity to make sure that your lights stay on, food stays in the refrigerator. Have the conversation with your bill collectors right now. Let them know what the business is. Leave it where it is and stay focused and grind on this. That's why I'm putting a lot of content out as much as I possibly can, because I want y'all to be focused on the positive things. What I recognize, and there's a few books that I'm going to continue to. I'm doing a morning inspiration, by the way, on Facebook Live and Instagram Live. So you can hit me in the morning, roughly between the hours of 7 and 8. I'll probably be going live. But there you go. One of them is Think and Grow Rich. And in this book, if you know about that, the whole thought process is, if I think prosperity, if I think abundance, if I buy into the fact that there's opportunity for everybody, then that means I have to keep prosperity thoughts. You're going to start thinking of ways to earn money. That's what this book essentially is talking about. There's 13 principles. Not all principles do they work for everybody, but that's what the book is talking about. It's really talking about how these 500 individuals who were creating success, what did they do? The number one thing is you got to have a desire. You need to get up and do some action. But the thing is, if I stay thinking prosperity, if I keep positive thoughts, if you stay in a network of conversation, that's what this is. One of the other principles is a mastermind group. See, so basically what I'm doing is I'm creating a mastermind group for individuals like-minded to come in and have this conversation. See, you got to understand, I'm a student of everything I read, baby. It's in here. Matter of fact, just so y'all, if you've never messed with this book before, man, you're missing out. Let me give you the chapter. Power of the Mastermind Group is chapter 10, page 247. It's the 9th step to riches. So I am creating a mastermind group for you all to come in free of charge to have like-minded conversation. Yeah, G, go ahead and grab. There's 2 books, G, by the way. There's a Dotcom Secrets and an Expert Secrets. Grab them both. Trust me, I'm going to be talking from both of them. Yeah, no doubt, Dom. All right, Greg, facts. So what else, man? What else do y'all want to talk about? So I want to, again, this is how we're going to get down inside the group. When I do YouTube lives, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, I wanted to be interactive. I've covered a few things really just to give y'all a gist on what we're trying to do here in these groups. The link is in the message as well for the group, the Dotcom and Expert Secrets group. So make sure you file into that. Right, but what else? I don't want to hold y'all any longer. I realize y'all probably have other things that you could be doing. Maybe, I don't know. They got that. I know everybody's on that Joe Exotic on Netflix. I've caught a few of those. I ain't gonna lie. Normally TV's not my thing, but I have, I got freedom now, so I worked it out. I don't veg out on it now. Let's be clear. But I saw a lot of people talking about that, and it's very interesting. So I'm definitely going to catch, before I lay my head down tonight, I'll catch another episode on that. But what else? Is there anything else that I can cover for you guys tonight? So again, you guys are going to Dotcom Secrets. Grab this. This is the first book that he wrote. Expert Secrets is the book where we're really going to dig in. Now, a lot of these, the information might cross-reference, but I promise you both of them have their own color, if you will. Okay, so they're going to be very important with the things that we're going to be talking about. And then ultimately, we're going to be looking at the actual software, Clickfunnels. And I don't have the ability to screen share through YouTube, but you can go back and you can look at some of my YouTube I put up with regard to ClickFunnels. Now, don't sign up for anything yet with ClickFunnels because you're not ready. A. B, I'm going to give you a link. Again, I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to give you a link that you guys will be able to access that. You'll get 14 days for free, but I'm going to give you a gang of stuff when we're ready for that. So we're not ready for that yet, y'all. We need to build a foundation on solid concrete, and it's not going to take long. I'm not talking about dragging this thing out. I'm talking about y'all grab these books, y'all get the access into this .com and Expert Secrets group, and we're going to be getting it popping as I've been on tomorrow. So y'all come in and start to take this information in. But is there anything else that that I can cover on this live? Let me see, somebody sent me a message through Facebook real quick. Let me take a look at that. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, cool. All right, we're all good there. All right, y'all. So is there anything that I am that I'm leaving out? Anything? You notice I got the books right here, fam. I got them all, man. We're going through all this. Ride with your boy. So if you're not following me on Instagram, please make sure you do that. Instagram at Burch the Messenger. That's the letter J, BurchTheMessenger. Facebook business page is the same, Burch the Messenger. Of course, here on YouTube, if you'll go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell. You're gonna be notified every time I put something up, so you won't. All right. So if there's nothing else, no other questions, man, I'm gonna go ahead and bow out. I'll give y'all just a couple of minutes to type anything in. Otherwise, I'm gonna bow out. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Please share. That's the other thing. Please share this information as well, man. Like, I really want to help as many people as I possibly can. Do as much as we can in the next 30 days. If that's what they're saying, April 30th. My thing is, I mean, let's just put in work. You know, if you put in 7 hours, 8 hours a day for somebody else, then you could be able to put in 7 hours, 8 hours a day for yourself and building yourself up with a skill set that you didn't have before. Give yourself some knowledge that you didn't have before. And even if you do go back in 30 days, you started something that now you can continue to build on. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. It's not going to stop. So I've started something, I got to keep going with it myself. But that's the goal, man. So even if you go back, not all of your income eggs are in one basket. You have now some other baskets that you can go and rely on should you need to. All right. So again, we're going to be talking about affiliate marketing, drop shipping. We're going to be looking at how you can take your current skill sets, turn them into income, your clothing deal, shoe deal, all of these things that we're talking about. We're looking at building your own economy, creating blue waters, non-shark infested waters. All right. So with that being said, fam, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. If there's nothing else, catch me on Instagram. I'll do live. I'll go live in the morning on Instagram and Facebook with some inspiration. I'm going to continue reading from Reverend Ike's Secrets for Success. I'll be sharing that information as well. Again, you can pick that up in any resources or any description that I have on YouTube, those videos. So I'll be doing that in the morning just to get you guys going in the right direction mentally. And then throughout the day, we'll set up some lives, or I'll be uploading some content on social platforms as well as the group. So go ahead and ask for a request access to the groups tonight so I can get you guys loaded up. And with that being said, man, peace and blessings. Talk to y'all soon. I'm out. Thanks for your time. Peace.